For today's movie review, I'll be reviewing a movie called Q, a 1982 movie that is a loose remake of a 1946 film called The Flying Serpent. It also stars prolific B-movie actor David Carradine, who you may recognize for movies such as Death Race 2000, where he played Frankenstein, or Kill Bill Volumes 1 and 2, where he played Bill. For the plot of Q, it's about this ex-con piano player who joins forces with the New York police to stop a giant flying lizard-like creature called Quetzalcoatl, who's been killing people, and it's basically up to the ex-con piano player and the New York police to stop the creature's rampage before it kills any more people. In terms of what I liked about the movie, I like the cinematography of the movie, especially the bird's eye view of Quetzalcoatl while it's flying over New York. Those shots I think are great. I also love the general premise of the movie since it's about this Aztec god going on a rampage in New York City. I also like the reaction of the police force when they hear of this creature because it's not like, what? A giant monster killing people? Ridiculous. No, they take it at face value like, oh, we've handled this kind of thing before. We're just gonna go with it and see where it goes. Like, they weren't surprised the fact that there was a giant monster on the loose. That I thought was interesting. And beyond that, this movie wasn't very good. In terms of what I disliked about the movie, as much as I love stop motion, in this film, it's really dated. Especially for the time period in which it was made. Because this is when we had films like Star Wars, E.T., Dragon Slayer out, and technology took a huge leap forward. So, really, stop motion at this point was basically just a dying art. And also, the design of Q itself, I did not think was that unique. It literally just looked like a lizard with bird wings, which is really disappointing considering that this is supposed to be Quetzalcoatl, which is a god that's literally a giant feathered serpent. As far as the acting goes, the actors who play most of the characters, I think they do their parts just fine. It's just the characters I didn't really find myself attached to, especially the main character who is the ex-con piano player. Oh my god, this guy was so annoyed. I just wanted him to die because he has the most insufferable performance in the entire movie. Like, I wish David Carradine's character was the main character. Yeah, at least he was a bit more entertaining and sympathetic, even though he really has nothing to go on. Also, this movie has some stupid moments. I'm not gonna mention all of them, but I'm just gonna mention the one that stuck out to me the most. And to give you setup, basically you have like the police officers discussing about the dead bodies that have been appearing everywhere. And one of them had to be decapitated. And the person was like, well, we never found a head to that person. And one of the other officers goes, who knows? Maybe it floated off like a balloon. One edit later, you just see the city landscape and you just see this pink balloon just floating by. It was just a really irrelevant shot. Like, I don't know why they put it in there. Other than, you have one of the police officers saying, oh, looks like the person's head flew off like a balloon. But other than that, it was just pointless. Also, for the first third of this movie, people don't notice the giant monster, which really confuses me because the monster in question is bigger than a helicopter. How do you not notice that? It just confuses me. Granted, as the movie progresses, people start to notice it, but again, how do you not notice it in the first third of the movie? It just didn't make any sense to me. For my final verdict of Q, aside the premise of the story and the actors playing the characters, I didn't think this movie was very good at all. It is just your standard 50s monsters movie, just made in the 80s, and you could just skip this one, honestly. There are better monster movies out there. And before I give my final rating, what did everyone else have to say about Q? Looks like this movie got average to negative reviews. And for my final rating of Q, I give it a 1.5 out of 5. So, what's your favorite mythology? And see you later.